Hello burritos and welcome back to another video with your favorite girl Soapy. Today we're gonna be answering all of your sexy time questions. Everything related to sexy time, any questions that you've had that you were too scared to ask anyone before. I am here to answer all of your inquiries for you today, right here. I have asked you guys to leave your question on Instagram, and if you did participate, thank you so much for participating. I was actually gonna screenshot the questions from Instagram and put them in this video, but just to respect your guys' privacy, I chose not to. Instead, I have wrote all your questions down on this notebook and organized them into different sections, so that's how I will be doing this video today. Since this is a sexy time question related video, I would love to introduce you guys to Bellesa. And before we open up these awesome vibrators, I would love to announce that my friends at Bellesa and I are literally giving out free vibrators and gift cards so you guys can get vibrators of your own. If you would like to get your own free vibrator and gift card, all you have to do is sign up to my giveaway in the description box below. So Bellesa is a completely bi-woman company for all things sexuality, not to mention embrace and explore. Now, starting with the first one, we got Thump. I just want to talk about this case, guys. This case is so discreet, and the vibrator inside is even cuter. Like, the great thing about all these vibrators is that you can just charge them and take them on the go. Now this one is a very powerful friend. We have the power button right here. Turn it on and then this one also has a thrusting mode. Now, if you're asking me, Sophie, have you used these vibrators yourself? How do we know if it's actually good or not? I have. And this one's my favorite. Let me tell you guys why this one's my favorite. This one is the Air Vibe. It has dual stimulation, which means you can put it in your hoo-ha and you can stimulate the outside as well. This part right here is to stimulate your G-spot, and this one right here is to stimulate your bean. It has a lot of different modes. And this button right here is for the inside. Oh my god. Dude, if you put your finger in here, it's like it moves. So when you put it on, it's like... Lastly, we got the model Pebble. It comes in a very cute case. I love this one because it's pink. For all you simple girlies out there, I'm sure you'll love this one. This one is straight to the point. Suction, vibrator. That's it. I have pretty small hands and it fits perfectly in my hand. I love the grip, bro. And when I tell y'all, this is really simple. It has no annoying pattern modes either. As I mentioned earlier, if you like these products and you would like to get one of your own, please go make sure to check out the link in the description box for a giveaway. Thank you again, Bellesa, so much for sponsoring this video, and let's get right into the Q&A. First question, what is it like not being a virgin? Like, I don't know what y'all have heard about not being a virgin, but like, it's not like the gates of heaven open and you walk into Narnia. Like, it's not. And most chances are the first time you have sexy time, it's not gonna be that great. It's gonna be awkward. That being said, does it hurt? Personally, for my first time, it didn't. And that has nothing to do with size. But for some girls, it can hurt. It's completely normal though. Do you bleed? Yes, you can also bleed. Personally, for my first time, I did not bleed and it did not hurt. But it depends on the person. Do you feel different after the first time? No, you feel exactly the same. Other than the fact that you just got viciously railed, nothing has changed. What happens when your cat farts? Also known as queefing. Is queefing normal? Yes, it's very, very normal, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It happens all the time during sexy time. Completely normal. If any guy ever tries to guilt trip you over you queefing during sexy time, he's weird. Not you. I remember when I first started my sexual life, I thought queefing was something to be so embarrassed about because every time it happened during sexy time, I was like, oh. But no, as you grow older, you understand that it's completely normal, and honestly, guys don't really care. Like, I've had times where I was so embarrassed about my queefing, but the guy was just like staring at me and he was like, why is that something to be embarrassed about? It's completely normal. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that you guys don't need to be worried about it. Next. Do guys care if? Do guys care if you are a virgin? I'm gonna be straight up honest with y'all. Sometimes, yeah. Reason being, because if someone is so experienced and someone is so inexperienced, it can put pressure on the person that is overly experienced. I would say for most cases, it's definitely not like a deal breaker or anything, but some guys are overly obsessed with the idea of a girl being a virgin. Personally, I would avoid those guys. That being said, do guys care if you have big thighs or a big belly or you're chubby? Again, from experience, the answer is no. Guys don't give a fuck. Guys actually don't give a shit, guys. And when I say this, I'm not speaking for every single guy on the planet, but I'm talking about most guys and out of experience. Guys only care about what's in front of them, like right now. They don't care about the belly fat. They don't care about the thighs. All they care about is titties, ass, segs. That's all they care about. Guys are very simple creatures. You do not need to worry. Do guys care if you smell bad? The answer is yes. It goes both ways, vice versa. You don't like a guy smelling bad, they don't like you smelling bad. But something that you do need to know here is the fact that girls work very differently from men when it comes to smelling bad down there. For guys, it's mostly about hygiene. For girls, we have internal genitals, so it's inside. Even though the vajayjay is a self-cleaning organ, it's also very sensitive. So if you smell bad, it's not necessarily about hygiene most of the time. There's a lot of things that can affect the smell of your vajayjay. It can be your pH level. Have you gotten enough sleep? Are you drinking enough water? Have you eaten properly? Is your underwear too tight? Just so many minor things. Like I said before, the vajayjay is a very sensitive and delicate organ, so you need to treat it well. Do guys care if you're not shaved? The answer is also no. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think most people have a preference on what they like in someone, but it's not like a deal breaker in most cases. Like, personally, I like shaved. I like no hair. But if a guy has minimal hair, then like I'm not gonna say anything about it. I really honestly don't care. It's the same vice versa. Does the guy care if he doesn't get to finish? You know what? I think for most guys, they actually don't really care. Because usually there's two types of people. There's receivers and there's givers. Most guys are usually givers, which means that they find more enjoyment in giving than receiving. Girls are usually receivers. That being said, considering most of the guy population are givers, most of the time it really shouldn't matter. But again, vice versa, as we girls like to finish, guys also would like to finish as well. Do guys care about what my vajayjay looks like? Okay, this is also a problem that I've been dealing with for a while now. Like, at one point I thought my vajayjay looked like ugly, bro. Like, because the thing is, you don't really get to see like other girls' vajayjays and like compare, you know what I mean? Like, the only thing that I've done with my vajayjay is like put a mirror or a camera down there and seen it, and that's it. And I'm pretty sure y'all have done it too, don't lie to me. Like, let's be real here. What is a pretty vajayjay? What the fuck is a pretty vajayjay? Like, think about it. If we as girls are sitting here questioning what the fuck a pretty vajayjay is, like, imagine dudes. Unless your vajayjay is heavily deformed, it really should not be a problem. I do remember when I was a bit younger, my guy friends would talk about how they slept with this girl and they'd be like, oh yeah, but she had like roast beef pudding. That's very immature. Like, I'm sure guys all have their opinions about what a pretty vajayjay is regardless. But at the end of the day, if a guy can't accept you for what your body looks like, why are you with this guy in the first place? He doesn't deserve you. That is my point. So it's not really the question of, does he like what my vajayjay looks like? Reverse the question and ask yourself if you even like this guy in the first place. Or if he even deserves your vajayjay. How about that? Next up, we got contraceptives, protection. Very, 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 very important. If I be like straight up real and straight up front and honest with y'all, I fucking hate protection. Protection does not feel great, okay? But I am here to tell you, as your older sister, whoever may be watching through the screen, that protection is in fact very, very important. Do not ignore protection, okay? If y'all don't want to have babies at like 15, 16, then listen to me right now. This is my secret box, if you know what I mean. The contraceptives that I have in this box, I have two that I can show you right now. The most common one, I'm sure y'all all know what a condom looks like. This is a condom. There are many different brands, many different thicknesses, different sizes. Some of them are ribbed, some of them are smooth, okay? Condoms. But the thing about condoms is that condoms can rip. So one thing you want to know when you're using condoms is that when you're done and the guy busts a nut, you want to take your condom to the bathroom and put water in it and make a balloon. If there is a leak, you will see the leak. If your condom is leaking, you're kind of fucked. If you don't like condoms and you're allergic to latex. Next up, we got vaginal contraceptive films. These are called VCFs. You can get them in any single drugstore as well as condoms. Dude, these things are actually pretty good. It's literally a film. I'll open one and show you right now. Yeah, if you look inside, it's literally a film that looks like this. So what you do is you take your finger and you put it up your vajayjay. And what this does is that it melts and it creates a wall inside your vajayjay. So let's say if the guy were to accidentally bust a nut during sexy time, okay? His kids will hit this film and die. Literally melt and die. So that's another way of not getting preggo. I can't believe I'm doing this on YouTube, guys. Next up, we have something called IUDs. Basically what an IUD is, it just looks like a hook. You can search it up on Google if you don't have a photo. Actually, photo right here. Yeah, IUDs basically look like this, and if you go to the hospital, they'll literally shove it up your uterus. I know that sounds scary because it is. IUDs will last you usually anywhere between 3 to 5 years depending on the type of IUD that you have. Basically what the IUD does is that it releases a certain amount of hormones every day in your system, so it doesn't create tissue. What I mean by tissue is that, you know, when you guys go on your period, right? And you see those like clots on the pad, that's actually tissue. You need that tissue for a baby to settle in. But if you have a certain amount of hormones releasing in your system every day, the tissue will not be able to accumulate. It's literally impossible. One thing to know about IUDs is that when you take them out, it is very extremely painful. When I had mine taken out, I went to the clinic and they literally just, dude, it's fairly embarrassing too. Like you're lying down and you obviously spread your legs. The doctor comes over and he puts the gel on the fucking clipper thing and he opens up your vajayjay and there's a string, right? Just yanks it out. And then you feel like throwing up because it's very painful. So keep that in mind if you choose to get an IUD, but it's very effective. No period, no repercussions, 99.99% effective. Next option, we have injections. So these contraceptive injections you can get every 3 months. So basically what you do is you go to the pharmacy and you ask for an injection and they'll shoot one up your arm. Again, you will obviously have no period because of the hormones that are injected into your system. I guess you could actually say it's the best option, to be honest. But one thing to note is that the IUDs and the injections won't protect you from STIs. It'll only protect you from pregnancy. So if you choose to get any of these, you probably might want to get checked out every once a month if you are sexually active. For birth controls, I don't know about the USA, but in Canada, they are supplied for free by the government for women. You have to take one every single day. If you don't take one, you're kind of fucked. But there also can be a lot of side effects with birth control, so you might want to keep that in mind as well. Last option for contraceptives. This is absolutely your last option because it destroys your system. Not literally destroyed, but it's such a bad option, dude. It's Plan B, the morning after pill. I personally fucking hate Plan B. For Plan B, you want to take it within 48 hours of the incident. After 48 hours, it has no effect. All right, next we got some things to know. One thing to know is that you want to pee after sex. I thought this was a myth until I got something called, how do you pronounce this? Pylonophilis. Dude, I know what this is called in Korean, but in English it's just kind of weird. Basically what this is it's an infection. It usually happens from sexual activity. Now, when you get this infection, it's a very common infection amongst women. Like mine was really bad. I got a fever over 40 degrees. Not to mention that I literally could not like stand up. Like you literally cannot sit up without someone helping you. It's so bad. You're bloated for like a week straight. You can't eat. You can barely drink, like you're just so like sick. So in order to prevent that, you wanna pee after sex. Basically what going to the washroom does after you have devil's tango, it just cleans out your system. Like I said, the vajayjay is a self-cleaning organ, so you wanna maximize that. All you have to do is go to the washroom. One thing I want to say about STIs is that if you are sexually active, you want to go get regularly checked every single month. So basically y'all might be sitting here saying like, oh, but there's nothing wrong with me. Like I don't see anything visibly wrong with myself in terms of STIs. But you see, the thing about STIs is that a lot of them aren't actually visible to the naked eye. Like especially men, like you can never tell if they have STIs or not. And since a lot of STIs are not visible to the naked eye, please go get checked regularly. That is the best way to prevent. So next I want to talk about communication. Communication is actually very important. I'm gonna tell you guys one story that I had before. Until I met this one guy, throughout all my life, I had never had a guy ask me what I like in bed. And one day this guy asked me, hey Sophie, what do you like in bed? Like how do you want it? And I was like, I don't know. No one's ever asked me that before. I don't know what I like. Like if you think about it, it's really funny because why has no one ever asked me what I like in bed? Because the thing is, if you guys communicate what you guys like and what you don't like, it's so much easier, dude. Trust me, just try. Just ask. Now, talking about communication, that also follows up with consent. Here's some questions that y'all asked about consent. How do you know if you're ready? Dude, I feel like if you feel like you're ready, you're ready. Like, there's no guideline of, hey, am I ready to check off all the boxes? No, if you feel like you're ready, you're just ready. If this person makes you feel comfortable enough for you to be vulnerable with someone in bed, then you are ready. Age-wise, I'm not the type of person to tell you what age you can and cannot have sexy time. Preferably sexy time is for adults, but I'm really not the one to say. I feel like the advice that I could give you as your older sister or your auntie is that if you feel like you're ready and you're practicing safe devil's tango, then go straight ahead. How do you know if this person is touching me respectfully? The only input I can give you here is that if you feel comfortable with what this person is doing to you, then it's okay. As soon as you feel like what this person is doing to you is making you uncomfortable, then it's wrong. Again, there's no guideline of what's right and what's wrong in bed, okay? If someone pulls a prank on you but you didn't feel like it was a joke, then it's not a joke. It's the exact same thing in bed with the person. If this person does something to you that doesn't make you feel comfortable and this person is like, oh yeah, but it was just a joke, or oh, I didn't do it out of bad intention, it doesn't matter. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, it makes you feel uncomfortable, period. And that being said, another question: if I don't like it, should I stop? Yes. I'm here to tell you that you have no reason to continue something in bed with someone if it doesn't make you comfortable. Do not be scared to tell this person that you are not comfortable right now, and just stop. If this person cannot respect your wishes and acknowledge the fact that you are uncomfortable with whatever you guys are doing, then that is considered either sexual assault or rape. Dead period. Again, to wrap up consent, consent is literally just feeling, guys. If it feels wrong, it's wrong. Next up, we got toys. Now, when you start getting a little bit more comfortable with your sexual life, you will end up exploring toys and other, you know, adult-like material. The most common toys that we have here are vibrators, like I showed you guys earlier in the video. There's pillows. There's also stuff to do with the butt. So there's plugs, tails, beads. They all look different, dude. Like, none of them are exactly the same. There's a very wide variety. There's whips, there's handcuffs, there's ropes, there's gags. This is kind of for the kinky, freaky people out there, but there are a lot of options you can choose from. If you are old enough, if you're 18 plus, you could probably walk into a Ziggs Toys store. I've been to those stores a couple of times, and when I tell you the variety of options, the diversity of options that you will encounter in the store are, oh my god, dude, there's so much shit in there. It's fun though, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Also, one thing you gotta know is that I know a lot of you will probably think if I walk into a sex store, it's gonna be like really weird or something. I don't know, at least that was my like first thought or first impression of a sex toy store when I first walked in, but honestly, it's really not like that. A sex toy store is literally just like any other store that you will walk into in your life. But the only difference with that store is that you guys are openly talking about kinks, fetishes, what you guys do in bed, what you prefer, like what flavor of lube you like. Like, it's just, it might be a pretty difficult thing to talk about for the first time meeting someone new, but what I'm trying to say is that nothing, and when I mean nothing, absolutely nothing is weird in a sex toy store. Next up, we got the section of the periods. A lot of y'all asked about period sexy time. Does it hurt? Does it smell? Does it make a mess? Yes, it does. It's periods. Girls, we all know what periods smell like, and it's fucking gross. Again, this is different for everyone. Personally, I feel like period sexy time is very sensitive, I would say. Like, it doesn't hurt. For me, every nerve in my system is just amplified, so it's more sensitive. You could say it feels better, but it's not like painful or anything. The smell, on the other hand, is just, I hate it. You know how, have you ever heard a guy say like they hate the smell of their own kids? That's exactly what it feels like. It's vice versa. We hate the smell of our period, they hate the smell of their kids, okay? Same thing. Does it make a mess? It can make a mess. The mess isn't like a complete crime scene as you guys are probably thinking in your head. No, it's not a crime scene. I mean, it also depends on like how much flow you guys have. Personally, I don't have very heavy flow, so it doesn't actually make like that big of a mess. But if you guys are doing it within the first 2 days of your period cycle, then yeah, it could probably make a mess. You gotta put down a towel and shit, but usually it doesn't make a crime scene, no. All right, next up, oh my gosh, so many questions. Okay, next up we have some really random questions that y'all asked here. What does an orgasm really feel like? You see, how do I explain this? Like, how am I supposed to put into words what an orgasm feels like? It's just, I mean, I guess I could like act it out with my face, but I don't really want to do that because I don't want to get demonetized. But orgasm feels like, dude, orgasm just feels like really fucking good. Like, y'all can experience this for yourself. I'm sorry, I don't know how to explain this one. What if you hate swallowing and spitting? Again, consent, communication. Communicate to your partner that you do not like oral sexy time or swallowing or spitting or whatever that is. Certainly a lot of guys do have a very big obsession or fetishes with the whole swallowing and spitting jazz. But if you don't feel comfortable, then just don't do it. Like, you don't have to do it. You are not obligated to give this guy swallowing of his kids. This guy is not entitled over your throat. Just remember that. Does sex have a smell and is it bad? Dude, if I had to explain the smell of the devil's tango in words, is that like... Okay, so as soon as you open a room, you just know it's the devil's tango. Like, you open the fucking door and you're like... Zigs. Like, that's literally what it smells like. I don't know how else to explain it. Like sexy time literally just smells like sexy time. If I could put the smell of sexy time into 2 words, it would be sweaty and musty. It smells like hormones as well, and you'll know what I mean if you actually smelt it before, but it smells like hormones, bro. Like, it smells so musty. Like, if it's the smell of your sexy time, it's not that bad. But I've walked into rooms where it wasn't my sexy time and it doesn't smell that great. Not gonna lie. Is giving a gok gok hard? I mean, like, for the first couple of times, if you don't know what you're doing, then yeah. But isn't that for like everything though? Like, all things need practice, man. Like, yo, giving a gok gok is like your first steps, your first baby steps, okay? At first you kind of do a lot like this, and then, you know, as you keep trying and you keep evolving and you keep improving, your teeth start going in. All I'm gonna say, dude, is that everything takes practice, including gok goks. Next question. Why does a girl usually have a glow up after having sex? You see, here's the thing. Men and women are built differently, okay? When a guy busts a nut, it goes outside. It shoots. You know what I mean? Like, it's like your soul is leaving, okay? That's for guys. For girls, we get rejuvenated or we have a glow up because everything for us is internal. Now, because our system is internal, when we do have sexy time, hormones release in our body, and those hormones are commonly known as estrogen. And when you get a lot of estrogen in your body as women, you become prettier or you have a glow up. Like, you look more rejuvenated and you look like you know? That's why girls commonly are known to have a glow up after having sexy time, as opposed to men who look like they got their soul sucked out from the devil. Okay, my lovely burritos, that is all for today. Talking about sex for more than 2 hours, I don't even know how long this video is gonna be, but talking about sex for more than 2 hours by yourself looking into a camera is very questionable. I think I've covered most of the basics in this video, but if you guys do have more questions, feel free to let me know. Maybe I might make a part 2. Again, if you participated in this Q&A, thank you so much for participating. I really appreciate it. I really hope this video answered a lot of your questions about sex or things that you've been too shy to ask anyone before. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!